outdoors. Oh, I see it. Lucy. Dude. Dude. Hey, we got something in the trap. Yep, sure did. It's down there. Izzy, I caught something. I caught something, Izzy. Haven't trapped in a long time, but I got me something. First night, I bought the biggest trap they make, the live trap. Well, I mean, technically, you could get like a hog trap, and that's bigger, but this is a live trap. I bought the biggest one they got, specifically for catching the critters we've had running around the property, terrorizing the animals and making us worry about our kiddos. And you won't believe what we caught the first night, man. Oh man, he's fired up too. He is fired up. Yep. You greedy little critter. Oh my goodness. What were you thinking? What were you thinking about your decisions? Huh? Golly. Look at this trap though, man. This thing's huge. To give you an idea, it's like, well, I thought the measurements would be on it, but they're not. All right, buddy. Do this without either one of us getting attacked, and we can still be friends. Okay? You're welcome. You're welcome. Go eat bugs and ticks. Everybody says you're really good at that. But I got a tick bite this summer, so I don't believe them. Stinker. If you're new here, welcome and howdy. If you're old here, welcome and howdy. It's my lovely wife and I. It's 40 acres in Northeast Oklahoma. We've got some cattle, some donkey, a pig, some donkey. We've got some donkeys, a pig, some dogs, 3 boys in no particular order, and possums, raccoons, coyotes, and a kitty named Bob. Last night I used deli meat because I didn't get this trap until like 5:30 at night. But today I've got some actual coyote urine on the way, and we will set this and move it. And even though this is a live trap, I do not plan on catch and release with the coyotes. Okay, that's just how it is. We have a coyote problem here in Oklahoma. I have so many coyotes that it is open season 24/7, 365, anything you want to use. So please don't come at me about the coyotes. I'm doing my part to control the population because they're everywhere. We've got a wild dog problem as well because people drop dogs off in the country. I personally think if we had less coyotes, we'd have less wild dogs. I do think that. I think there's a correlation there. So, or vice versa. I think sometimes those dogs chase the coyotes because they think it's an easy meal, because they can, you know, dogs typically will fight a coyote and win. So if they chase the coyotes make a kill, then the dogs get to eat that and chase the coyote off. So if we get rid of the coyotes, it might be process of elimination for everyone. We'll see. I'm waiting on some actual bait, and then we will put this coyote trap, this live trap. I've got some footholds, which are for raccoons. What else? Some Duke number 3s and 4s that we're going to set out in the paths, so to speak, okay? Now, I'm not going to trap just for trapping's sake. I'm going to set these where we've seen them near our pens. I'm going to put the footholds up by the house, and that way if we trap something and it's up by the house, I'm not using some crazy attractant they can smell from 40 miles away, okay? These foothold traps, or the dog-proof traps, for raccoons, I'm putting marshmallows in them, okay? So if they come up there to eat those marshmallows, they're getting trapped. If they're back here, they can do whatever they want because they ain't gonna hurt nothing. Look at this trail. Look how the leaves have turned. So pretty. Speaking of pretty, my gosh. So today I've got another task as well, and that is the servicing on my tractor. Because in case you guys didn't know, I hit a stump the other day, and I cut my stumps low enough that I don't like lose track of them and I can come through and I don't hit them with a brush cutter. Some of them I've left about 2.5 feet tall, which wasn't great because I actually hit the hydrostatic fluid filter on my tractor and dented it enough that it started leaking, and I dropped all the hydrostatic fluid the other day. So, all right, listen, here's one disclaimer. You guys that are really on top of your vehicle maintenance, you're gonna cringe at this entire video. That's why I'm not gonna show you everything I do. Is that a spider? Because you're not gonna be able to handle it. So just let me clean it, do my thing, and just understand that if it runs, I did it right. If it doesn't, then you can hate. See, worked perfectly. And to get that screen out, I got to raise my loader, but because we dented the hydrostat filter, I don't want to raise and lower my loader before we fix that. Where's it at? It's down here. I thought I could see it from back there, but I can't. But yep, that's all I did. Just a little bump, just a little taparoo. We're also going to replace that fuel filter, oil filter, hydrostat filter, this air cleaner. We'll just get a new one. I mean, after 200 hours, I know you can blow them out. I've done it a couple of times, but rather just get a new one. Well, first off, let me preface this with, service is not what it used to be. I walked into our local Coyote dealer this morning, and based on where we live, you can probably figure out who that is because there ain't that many of them. And I said, I need everything to just do a 200-hour service for a DK 4710 HST. See, spiffy. And the guy said, all right, what do you need? I don't know, that's why I'm here. You tell me. Now I know I've got a manual. Actually, after the house fire, I'm pretty sure I don't have a manual. But I'm not that great about keeping manuals anymore because everything's online. I know what you're thinking. Well, Chad, just look it up. I don't want to look it up. That's why I'm here. You're one of the biggest Coyote dealers in the 4-state area. That's Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. And you don't just know off the top of your head what I need for 200 hours? Is it your first day? No. Now, we're not actually having this conversation, but this is where my head's going the whole time we're talking. What did you think was going to happen when you got to work today? Did you think no one's going to ask you questions? You know what I mean? It's like your shirt says Coyote Service. There's a wall dedicated to Coyote in the service department that's nothing but Coyote products and everything I bought sitting on the back of that truck with Coyote labels. So anyway, after chatting for a little bit, politely, he goes and asks his manager what I need. And it's not this guy's first day, clearly. His shirt ain't brand new. He goes and asks his manager what he needs for a 200-hour service on a Coyote DK 4710 HST. And his manager hollers out to the point where I can hear him. Like, we're within earshot. I know the manager can hear my question. And I just assume he's a manager. I don't know, maybe he's not. But I know he can hear me because I can hear him barely above a whisper talking to his employee. He goes, does he know what kind of tractor he has? And I just spoke up and I said, yep, it's a DK 4710 HST, which means it's a hydrostat transmission. And he looks at me and he goes, well, there's 3 different kits for the 200-hour service. I said, okay, we're on the right track. We know we only got 3 options. Which one goes to my tractor? No lie, he goes, well, I've had all 3, and they all 3 take something different. No kidding. That's why there's 3 different ones. You got a power shuttle, a manual shift, and a hydrostat, which is what this is. So where's the one for the hydrostat? I think that's how we're going to play ball today. I don't understand. Here's where I'm at. Well, first off, what I wanted to say was, do you have your manual? I wanted to say no, but I bet y'all got one laying around. I bet you sell me one. But the other side of that is like, you might as well just be a cashier and stand up front like we're at the Dollar Tree. If you don't know the answer to these questions, why do I have to know when I bought a brand new tractor and I come back to get a service? Have you guys sold, I mean, they're one of the biggest dealers in the 4 states. Have you sold all these tractors, but ain't nobody had a 200-hour service yet? I'm just, man. Probably making $25 an hour and not have any answers. Listen, I've got I've got gloves to change the oil in the tractor, but I don't know where they're at. Like, you want like some real, like, I think I have like 5M or something gloves, 3M, but I can't find them, so these will have to do. And honestly, if these will keep the off your hands for cows, surely they'll keep my hands clean changing the oil down here. Now I have preheated this, or warmed it up. There's actually 2 reservoirs for the coyotes, and I have no idea why. Is that a washer? Does that stay? Make sure I get that washer. Woo! That looks dirty. Golly, man. Yeah, I'm using a feed bucket. I can't find my oil thing. Judge me. We haven't been using that though because the dogs don't like it. Man, if my dad sees that, if my dad sees the color of that oil, ooh, baby. He's gonna say, good thing it ain't my tractor. Good news. I found my Batman gloves. They almost fit. That's a 2X. I think this strengthens my grip, don't it? Woo. All right, let's put them back in there. For the record, I did know that this takes 1.6 gallons of oil. So I knew that this 1.5 gallon bucket would hold it, or feed dish, whatever you want to call this thing. And we'll just obviously discard it when we're done. We're still dripping a little bit there. Yeah, still a little bit much. We're gonna give it a little bit. Man, get in there. Oh, get skinny. Oh my goodness. I should have pulled the front tires up on the driveway. Yeah, come on. There we go. Yep, that feels like finger here, and that feels like about 14.4 foot-pounds of torque. I think that's what I feel. Oh, we'll give it another little crank there. Yeah, we'll call that 15 foot-pounds. Oh man, some of you old boys are losing your marbles right now. So the first oil change, oh come on, golly dude. The first oil change, especially the transmission fluid oil, this is notoriously hard to unscrew this thing, the hydrostat fluid, but this is not the first, this is the second. My dad did the first. So this has been done before and then put on by my dad. And I actually am waiting on my oil change, or my oil filter remover. And I don't know where it's at. Amazon lost it. It's supposed to be here yesterday. So that's fantastic. Chad, why didn't you have one? You got all that equipment. Had a house fire. Cut me some slack. So what I did was I took an old spade bit and I beat the schnoz out of it with that hammer. And I poked it in the side of the oil filter. Now we're just gonna see if my dad did me a solid and left that a little bit of wiggle room. And the only problem is I'm not gonna be able to turn that. I should really put a towel over that. Yeah, I don't have any. All right, so after some stern words with the oil filter here, all right, I found me something shorter. Little turn, there we go. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. Oh, we're making a mess. There's people losing their nuggets right now. Okay. Woo. There we go. All right, so I got some looby lube on my oil filter here. Looks like I still got a little bit I could clean off the seal there. Get that nice and good. I know this ain't the best way to do it, but I guarantee you one thing, a heck of a lot better than that service guy would have done on it. You don't go too crazy. I'm gonna hand tighten it with one hand, which is pretty stinking stout, I'm not gonna lie, boys. Me cranking on this thing. Oh boy, there we go. Let's be honest. It's a lot different than most of y'all watching this, okay? That filter's on there. All right, so that was a good time. Well, if you guys have never changed a fuel filter, see how gross that is? It's actually pretty clean. I'm gonna wipe it down some more, hit it with brake cleaner, PB blaster, whatever I got in there. But yeah, this unscrews, or it was screwed into the bottom of the filter, and it catches things that particulates that are in your oil, it would not come off. So it and I had some choice words, and it still didn't want to come off. So I stood on it like a grown man and managed to give it a quarter turn, holding it down with my crock in 4-wheel drive, and it still didn't want to budge. Called the dealer, and they wanted $55 for that little clear bowl, 55 bucks. I said, nope. So I took another look at this filter, and I told it, hey, this little clear bowl, you're coming off of there, or I'll string you up behind the tractor, and I'll go pay the $55 and get another one. Even though this is originally equipped, and you want to be a part of this tractor so bad, I'll break you off of there. I'll go get a new filter. I'll tie you up behind the tractor and drag you around until the end of your days. I looked at it real sternly and I gave it another quarter turn, pop right off of there. Giddy up. That'd be something, wouldn't it? There's something to be said for those old boys that have trucks and tractors and all that without computer parts on them. Because this is a sensor. That's what this is, this little $55 dongle. Good grief. Taking one out of Apple's playbook, charging $55 for a piece of copper and a fuel sensor, water sensor. Anyway, she in there like swimwear. Now I'm actually not going to put this back on yet because the oil fill reservoir is behind this. So at 50 hours, when my dad didn't have to change this because it doesn't call for it until 200, yeah, he had to work around that, but we don't have to. So let's put some oil in her. Here she goes. So that's what oil's supposed to look like, in case you're watching at home. That is why you change the oil like you're supposed to. So you're supposed to change this annually if you're not hitting 400 hours, because obviously if you hit 400 hours, you'd have changed it twice according to the manual. I'm a little bit over, but it's all right. Okay, she's just going to be a lot happier and a lot quieter. That's how everything works in life, don't it? All right, listen. I have a confession to make. See those right there? I currently, howdy everybody, it's been about an hour. Now I could choose not to tell you this. My dad, Grandpa Doss Farms, tag down below, he serviced this tractor for me at about 55, 60 hours. That's the first service is 50 hours, but 50, 55, 60. I bought it with 6 hours on it. So he serviced this first, and then, listen, I get my strength from my dad. I do. I mean, I get it from my mom and my dad. But my dad's always had this inner strength, right? Okay? Y'all seen the pipes, right? But he put that filter on there previously. Where's that thing at? And for the life of me, I couldn't get it off of there. I couldn't. So I had to quit filming because some guy that I don't like to talk about sometimes, he showed up and he had a few choice words for the tractor and the people at Coyote. And I know Dad put it on there, but Dad's not the reason that I'm fat and can't get underneath the tractor and get that off of there easier. Dad's not the reason that I don't have a pipe wrench or a filter wrench, excuse me. I just went and got me a metal drill bit, drilled me a hole right in the side of that filter. Then I poked me an eye screw right in the middle of it. And then I just I stuck this through it and just gave her a couple turns and she popped right off. No big deal. Wiser men have done sillier things. Let's put it that way. That's what I was told one time by an old boy. Nobody died, nobody got hurt, had a long talk with Jesus. He told me not to do that, and I agreed. It's not necessary to, say things to inanimate objects. But, he said he talks with a few people at Coyote, and they'll work something out on the next one. Anyway, there was no children around. It's all right. All right, now I just need to fill the reservoir. And from what I understand, because I busted my hydrostatic oil filter back there, which is what led us to this, because technically Jesus saves, okay? He does. Listen, this has 270 hours on it. I was supposed to service it at 200 hours. I didn't. So instead of it coming to a screeching halt because the oil's dark and black and I just messed up and shouldn't have neglected it, and here we are, let's all just tell the truth. Everybody's done it, and those who don't lie about it, okay? Was in the woods with Jesus, moving some panels the other day, and I hit the filter. It broke the filter, which led me to do the 200-hour service. Now, the filter I hit, I don't even have to change right now, but I'm doing it anyway, okay? Because, well, I do have to change it, because if I don't, the tractor won't move. But anyway, that's not even on the 200 service hour list, but if you're going to do it, So here we are. All right, enough rambling. Let me put the fluid in and see what happens. All right, I got all my filters on. I've greased everything. I put 5 gallons in here because that's supposed to cover the entire reservoir. But because we have a third function kit, I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna run this a little bit and make sure that our third function kit doesn't add more fluid. Like, you're gonna have fluid in line. It should be enough, it should be. But either way, I'm not gonna bore you with that. I got the bolts in the bottom. I got all the fill. I got the bleeder off. I bled it too. Tighten that nut back up. I actually tightened it a little tighter in factory because you can see the dark paint right there, and then the dark paint on the screw, and that tells you that I cranked it past factory actually. Man, there is nothing better after laying under your tractor, getting her all squared away, and cracking a cold carbonated water. Yeah, said what I said. It's actually really brisk. So here's the moment of truth. I got everything squared away. I had the washers on the oil plugs. I bled the fuel filter. Everything should be good. There's nothing that should go wrong. Now, when we start this, it may sputter a little bit, just because we put fuel in it. Hey yo! Sounded pretty good. Move things around. Woo! So much quieter. You might be thinking this is where Chad's gonna go wash his tractor. If that's what you're thinking, I'd be betting you're drinking something other than water. I don't wash it. Wash it. It's a work machine. Y'all should be grateful I rinse my beard. I know. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I know. Well, I want to put it down there and make some grass grow. Hey, come with me. I want you to spread this out down here. Come on. Woo! Come on. Let's see how I do it, Maximus. Morning, young lady. Yes.